All right, there we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. Hope everyone's happy with the weather this week. I am. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in on a live stream around the country. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint, and during our lunchtime presentation today, I'm going to spend about 45 minutes with you. We're going to go through who DuePoint is, what the opportunity is all about, what the decision really is, and what life is like as a wealth engineer here at DuePoint. And then after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. Okay, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's Constantia's little logo over there. Constantia's head office in the background. They're here in Randburg, so just down the road from us. They are a registered insurance company in South Africa. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. That's fairly important. We've got a long and short-term insurance license, an investment license, as well as our FSP license. So you can look at those licenses. We've got them printed out and framed on the wall outside in the foyer. They're also available on our website. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. So you're welcome to go do a bit of a background check on us. The executives and managers here at DuePoint are these individuals that you see on screen now. The first three characters are very boring chartered accountants that are registered in South Africa, starting with our head executive, senior executive, that's Brendan Benfield, who you might have seen wandering around the foyer a moment ago. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. I think due to the fact that his father has spent a life in insurance, dedicated to insurance. His father started Clientele Life. His father started the IFA. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They both became CAs. They both got into insurance, and together as a family, they founded Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, just down the road. And they've had a lot of success in that space. They've helped start businesses in Europe. They assisted a couple of companies starting financial services businesses in Australia. So we're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Then the other two accountants are Tim and Stacey. They look after all the auditing, the accounting, and the financial regulatory requirements that we have in our business. All very important stuff, but very boring for Jane and I because we're non-accountants. Jane is very experienced in network or referral marketing, as well as direct sales. She's from the UK. She's been doing it all her life. And her experience is fairly integral to our business because as an insurance company, the marketing or the remuneration model that we've adopted is one of network or referral marketing. And Jane brings that experience to our team. And then myself, I've been working pretty much in design and advertising and branding all my career. So from the mid-90s, I ran my own agency for about 15 years fairly successfully. We also operated quite heavily in the financial sector. So I've got a little bit of experience in the financial sector already. Before I left that business, I exited that business and joined the team here at DuePoint. We've got our client service staff, we've got other admin staff, but the mandate of the staff here at DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us. Everyone that decides to partner and collaborate with us, we want to see those people effective, profitable, and ultimately happy in this partnership. And that's really what this business is about us proposing a collaboration with members of the public. So that's a bit of background on the business and the people. Very quickly, we pay cognizance to the horrible circumstance that a lot of South Africans find themselves in currently, without any prospect of the circumstances getting any better, unfortunately. So I'm not going to harp on too much about the economy. I think we're all well aware of the financial, or at least the personal financial pain that we all experience. And this business really is about the opportunity to alleviate that risk that we're experiencing today. No longer can we depend on a single source of income anymore, especially from an employer, because we just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next month or next year. And out of a lot of this negativity, Constantia as a business saw the opportunity to create this opportunity for the average South African to be able to engage in, to change their circumstance from a personal finance point of view. And so 2.5 years ago, February 2016, we launched the DuePoint system with a couple of aspirations in mind for the people that decide to join us in this business. This business is not only an income opportunity. There are hundreds of income opportunities outside or inside of South Africa. What discerns us from any other business opportunity is that this is a wealth creation business. And wealth creation is not formed on the basis purely of just income generation, right? So the aspirations that we have in mind for people in this business is not only just creating extra money, it is about thinking differently about money, with the sole purpose of creating income or creating wealth. And so one of the first and the primary aspirations that we have for people in this business is for people to get rid of their debt as quickly as possible. We don't realize the crisis that being in a debt cycle actually creates for us until it's too late. So you'll see it throughout your lifetime. Perhaps when you get older, you start to realize these things. When you're younger, you don't really think about them so much. But our primary aspiration is get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. It is the only way, and is the only way to empower yourself to create wealth. And I often ask the audience a very simple question: who would like to be wealthy? Everyone sticks their hands up, and I say, can you become a wealthy person if you owe other people money? And typically the answer is no. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. We then focus on wealth creation, and that is through the ownership of assets and investments that we get to take ownership over, that hopefully appreciate with time. And ultimately, we just want people to be happy in this business. We want this business to empower people to change their circumstance and ultimately lead to a great change in circumstance for not only you, but for their families and perhaps generations to come. So those are the aspirations we have for people in this business. How does this business actually work? Our guests here this afternoon, you have the opportunity to join this business, DuePoint. What happens is you enter into a contract with us. We refer to you as wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, you have a single task of building a channel of distribution. And I'll show you what a channel of distribution is shortly. But it is basically you going out and connecting other people to DuePoint. That is where our dependence lies on people that join us. We depend on members of the public that join this business to grow our business, to market our business, to go tell other people about the DuePoint opportunity. And if you are successful in that process, and you can get people to come sit in a presentation like this, or watch it over our YouTube channel, or watch it on a laptop or a TV through a USB stick, and they decide they too want to become wealth engineers and they become product owners, that is you being successful at being a wealth engineer. And that leads to a host of benefits. Primarily, you get to create an additional income for yourself, but a recurring income. This is not a sales-based, commission-based, once-off income business. It is an opportunity to create an asset, and the asset is what creates the recurring income for you every month, right? And I'll show you the power of that shortly. So take note, this is recurring income. Some people refer to it as passive income. Some people refer to it as annuity income. I always go back to my father's very simple description of it: the ability to make money while you're sleeping. And that's something he described to me when I was a young man, like I think high school. I'd just gotten into high school. He gave me a couple of books, and still having read one or two books, I had no idea what he was talking about. Right? I thought he was talking about the stock market and investments and that type of thing, which was kind of there, but it wasn't really. I only started to appreciate the power of annuity income when I ran my own business for 15 years. So our business was a digital agency. We were a trade business. We had designers, developers, salespeople involved in our business, and we chased money every single month. And we started at zero at the end of every single month, right? And I did that for 15 years, and only then did I start to realize the power of annuity income, because I realized I would have to carry on working in that agency for the rest of my life to create income. Right? I wasn't creating an asset that created income on its own, and so I was constrained to being in front of a computer, designing, programming with a host of staff. That is not the way to make wealth in this country. So our business is focused on wealth through recurring income. We allow you to harness the power of duplication. So this is something that I guess is typical of network marketing businesses, or intrinsic to marketing, network marketing businesses, is this idea of leverage. It is your opportunity to go out and find like-minded individuals that will join you in your channel of distribution and collaborate with you, right? If you can find resourceful, effective people that can assist you in building your channel of distribution, in turn their channels of distribution, your income gets leveraged, right? It's like duplicating yourself in the business. And I'll illustrate that. When I show you the channel of distribution, you'll see how that works. Our business is FlexiTime, We've invested an inordinate amount of money in technology in this business. We don't have printed anything, so don't ever ask us for a brochure or a printed form. We are very much looking into the future of what's possible throughout Africa with regards to leveraging our business and the income opportunity. And it goes without saying that you can do this business from the palm of your hand, from your phone. That phone that sits in your pocket, you can run your business from that phone at any time of the day, anywhere in the country and perhaps soon anywhere in Africa, building your channel of distribution. We've got no startup capital in this business. We don't have boxes of product that you have to buy. We're not going to be asking you for lump sums of investment to put in. We have designed this business specifically to have a low barrier to entry. Right? We want to make the business as accessible as possible. And so at the same time, we don't have qualifications or experience requirements. Anyone can join this business. What we're actually more interested in is in work ethic and belief in the system. For me, probably the most important benefit is you get to build an asset. It is an asset that you have legal tender over, so you own your channel of distribution, right? There are a host of benefits and implications with that statement. One, you can sell your channel of distribution. If it is creating, let's say, 10,000 Rand in recurring income every month, it has intrinsic value. It pays you beyond retirement, right? So that is really the antithesis of active income or employment, where you get to 60, 65, your boss says, thanks for your time, we don't need you anymore. If you own an asset, it pays you beyond retirement. Right? And so this business can keep paying you out into your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, even beyond death, because assets do not disappear upon death. You will, in your will, cede this asset to a beneficiary, to your spouse, to your children. And so building this channel of distribution, know that you have the ability to now pass wealth on to the next generation. Right? Where a lot of South Africans are in a position where they actually pass debt on to the next generation. There's no selling involved in our business, so we take your role completely away from the product side of our business, right? And that's more from a regulatory point of view, but it is a great benefit too in that you don't have to sell anything here at DuePoint. So that confuses a lot of people sometimes, because they come to the presentation and say, we're not selling, I don't understand. The only thing you're going to be doing as a wealth engineer is connecting people to the business opportunity. Right? So I'm hoping that's exactly how you were attracted to this presentation or invited to the presentation. Someone told you there is a income earning opportunity. They didn't say, come sit down for an hour to listen about insurance products or investment products, right? It's the income opportunity that you're going to be connecting people to, the business opportunity. And so you don't have to do any selling. At the same time, because we have financial products, there's no stock and distribution issues. And so the products in themselves are a great convenience in the DuePoint system. All right, so let's speak about a channel of distribution, because this is where your focus is going to be, and your success is completely dependent on your ability to build a channel of distribution. So it begins with you. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner here at DuePoint, and you're going to go out and connect people, right? Tell them. When I say connect, I mean you're just going to tell them. Whether they say yes or no, it doesn't matter. That's the only thing you can keep yourself accountable to in this business, is whether you're actually speaking to someone, right? Don't worry about the result. Worry about whether you're actually speaking to someone or not. Because in this example, you'll speak to maybe 10, 15 people, and 5 of them will say yes, right? They watch the intro presentation, I want to become wealth engineers, and they become product owners, and that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And from that point on, your channel will take on a life of its own. Because those 5 people that you introduce to the business are going to start trying to build their own channels, in turn, your channel, right? And there's always a lazy one. You can see we've got one lazy one there that never did anything. Sometimes there's more than one. But nonetheless, this is what power of duplication looks like. This is the leverage you certainly want to take advantage of in this business. So my tip to you at this stage is don't bring any person into the business, right? We've got 10 million unemployed people. The economy is in complete tatters. If you go out and say, I've got income opportunity, I've got jobs for people, you're going to have thousands of people wanting to join your business, right? That's not going to build a strong, sustainable channel for you. That'll build a weak channel for you that will collapse all the time. Make sure that you bring strong, resourceful people that can build channels on their own. Right? They don't become a burden to you. You don't want to get people in that are going, oh, I don't know how to use the internet. I don't have a smartphone. Give me a lift. Send me airtime. Those are the wrong people to bring in, unfortunately. They are. So be very discerning in this process, because that behavior filters into the rest of your channel. And we've seen it. People have built huge channels that collapse every other month, right? And then you are just going in circles. Build a strong, sustainable channel. It might take longer and be slower, but that is not an issue, right? The leverage still exists there. So that's what a channel of distribution looks like. We have 2 warnings for people that arrive to this presentation that stem off a single statement. The single statement is, we are not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? Now, there are 2 things that come out of that statement. Number 1 is that we are a legitimate business. right? There are many income opportunities floating around South Africa that are illegitimate. Illegal, actually, right? We are not one of those. We're a 70-year-old insurance company. We've got reputation. We've got very reputable people involved in this organization, and we have created an opportunity for the average South African, right? And when I say entrepreneurial opportunity, it is no different to any other entrepreneurial opportunity in the fact that it takes hard work and time to make a success out of it. And that's why I say we're not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you're here hoping to get rich quickly, you are in the wrong place. There is no such thing, building wealth quickly. It doesn't exist. You can win the lotto maybe, but Brendan illustrated the odds of you winning the lotto, which were 20 million to 1. You've got more chance of dating 20 supermodels before you win the lotto, right, among a host of other things. So those are our two warnings. This business is about wealth creation, and it goes without saying that it takes, and you might be wondering why we got this photo, that's what it takes, right? If you scratch a little deeper beyond successful people, especially successful entrepreneurs, we make the mistake of romanticizing successful entrepreneurship. It is blood, sweat, and tears. There is no other way around it. So I hope everyone's happy to engage in an opportunity that builds wealth steadily. Steadily, it's going to take time, right? It's not going to happen in a year or a month or a week. I'm going to go over our financial products. So we've got 4 financial products. They are very straightforward products. They all have financial benefit. So they're here to help us with the problems that we have. They are not just random products that kind of increase consumerism, which leads us to the problems that we have already. These are products that are designed to actually increase asset value or protect your assets or lower your cost of living, right? So our first product is called Access Wealth. Access Wealth is our investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. All right, that fund sits with Sanlam. It's not a Sanlam investment, it's just housed with Sanlam. And then on top of that, we have 120,000 Rand's personal accident cover on this product. So if you have this investment in place, you've got Access Wealth, you're killed in any form of accident, we pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. And the investment is, you have full access to the investment. There's no delayed notice period on the investment. And the 100 Rand contribution is actually the minimum. You can bump that up all the way to 2,500 Rand a month if you so wish, right? Because the tax-free investment legislation that exists says you can contribute up to 33,000 Rand a year into your tax-free investment fund. So it starts at 100 Rand. So that's our Access Wealth product, the investment product. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is going to cost you 249 Rand every month. It is strictly insurance. So it's only personal accident cover. There's no investment. It's only personal accident cover, but you get R1 million worth of personal accident cover with this product. The beauty of personal accident cover, right? You might be thinking, okay, I'm not sure what personal accident cover is. It is basically cover that covers you in the event of death through accident, not natural causes, not illness, right? So you might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound great. But the great thing about this product is that it actually becomes accessible to everybody because we don't discriminate against age or your health status. So you can be 60 years old, you can be diabetic, you can have heart conditions, you can have cancer in the family. The premium remains the same and the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. So anyone over the age of 18 can take up this product, right? So that's the beauty of Wealth Guard. The third product is called Family Wealth. Family Wealth is a funeral cover product. It's a new product that we launched a month ago. It starts at 299 Rand per month, and you will get 20,000 Rand's worth of cover for that. It'll cover up to 5 family members. It gives you 10,000 Rand's worth of debt protection. So if you owe 10,000 Rand on your credit card, for example, we'll cover that up to 10,000 Rand on top of the 20,000 Rand funeral cover. And the beauty of this product, what makes it really unique and innovative, is again, we don't discriminate against age or health status. So there are no excluded pre-existing conditions. Again, doesn't matter what your health status is, and it's between 18 and 70 that you can get in on this product. And then you can bump it up to 30,000 Rand and up to 10 family members. Okay, so that is Family Wealth, the funeral cover product. And then lastly, our fourth product is called Wealth Points. Wealth Points is going to cost you 299 Rand a month, and this product aims to reduce your cost of living. So it's there to reduce the money that we spend every single month, right? And how does that work? We've negotiated discounts with a host of providers or companies. So we've got data providers, we've got groceries, we've got online retailers. The entertainer provides pretty much half price at restaurants and hotels. We've got car manufacturers, and we are adding to this list of partners all the time. So we are about to launch a brand new partner in the next couple of weeks, which is very exciting. Big telecoms company. So this product is ever evolving. We're always trying to improve on it. The premium remains the same. If you're looking for immediate benefit out of any of the products, WealthPoints is the one to go with. So if you have any questions on our products, come speak to me. Otherwise, we've got very in-depth reviews on our YouTube channel on each product if you really want to get into the nuts and bolts of each product. Very quickly, this slide illustrates our business model. How are we able to pay wealth engineers recurring income? Our rewards program includes things like cars and annual conferences overseas. It is basically because we don't spend money on marketing and advertising, right? Any insurance company, their biggest line item on their managed accounts is typically marketing and advertising. And so we take that portion of our budget and we can give it to our wealth engineers in the form of our returns and rewards program for the work that you do in helping us grow this brand and this business in South Africa's market. And that's basically how our business model works. So on to how does a wealth engineer earn? So there are two ways to benefit. One is through our returns program, and the second way is the rewards program. The returns program is the most important. That's the recurring income, the extra paycheck every single month, right? That's what we want to be focused on. It works like this. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product in your channel. So remember the slide with all the dots on? That illustration of what your channel could look like. Imagine getting paid R27.50 for every single dot you see on the screen every single month, because it's recurring income, right? But it's actually dependent on where the product lies in relation to you. So the first 5 people in the example that you introduced, that product lies on your first point. And on your first point, we actually pay you double R27.50. On your second point too. So when your first point go out and introduce other individuals, that product lies on your second point. And again, you get paid R55. Then as your channel starts to increase to the third point, you see the multiplier starts to drop all the way down to the 8th point. See, by the 8th point, you're earning 4% of the R27.50, but we don't limit your channel size in this business. So we've got wealth engineers in excess of 0.30 already in the space of 24 months, right? There's no limitation on the size of your channel, and there's no limitation on how much money you can earn at DuePoint, right? The onus always falls on your shoulders. If you want a bigger channel, hang around for longer or push harder, right? This business is all about time and numbers. So that's what the mechanics of the returns look like. And then pretty much people want to understand, well, how quickly can I earn a certain amount of money in this business? If I'm going to start investing time into this business, what can I expect out of it from an earnings point of view? So we have this projection over the next 5 years. It is based on a growth assumption, a growth formula, or an activity kind of expectation that in your first month in this business, you connect 3 people successfully to the business, right? And then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to connect 2 people. So it's 3 people in the first month so that you become qualified and you're qualified to earn money. And then every month thereafter, it's just 2 people a month, right? So 1 person every 2 weeks. If you can follow that, you should be earning about R2,500 after 6 months, right? Now, this is a beautiful kind of number to illustrate a point regarding wealth creation, because this is something I saw in myself, and I assume most people, is that we think like consumers constantly, right? Think like consumers. How does a consumer think? Well, basically, if I put R2,500 under everyone's chair today, R2,500, I was like Oprah doing a giveaway, right? Everyone's got money, and you put that money into your purse or your wallet, how long would it last? And it's a good day today. It's Friday, right? So you've got plans, expensive plans already this weekend. How long would the R2,500 last, right? That's typical thinking of consumers. Right? Unfortunately, the economy is based on consumerism, but we have to move away from it. And that paradigm shift that is required is to stop giving money spending value. That's what we do constantly. I do it every single day. I catch myself. I think, just can't stop thinking about spending things. You want stuff. I wish I had a car. Selling the motorbike, buying a bicycle, all these things. It's constantly filled with consumerism. If you give someone who's focused solely on wealth creation, do they look at the R2,500 and go, what can I spend this on? They don't. Because they realize that money actually has further leverage than the face value. You can take the R2,500 and you can turn it into more. right? And the first step to doing that for most of us is by paying our debt off faster. Paying your debt off faster is the same exercise as investing money. Did you know that? It's exactly the same thing, right? So here's the illustration. 2,500 rand you're earning every month. You've got a R1,000,000 bond with the bank that you're paying 11,500 rand a month for at prime plus 2 for 20 years, right? You decide to take that money, instead of spending it, put it into your bond as an additional payment. The net effect of that is that you'll drop that bond term from 20 years to 11.5 years. 20% extra. Now look at this. This is the illustration of compound interest. You're putting an extra 20% into your bond, but you've reduced your bond by nearly 50%. Do you see how it doesn't make sense? Right? That's because of compound interest. We all need to get onto the correct side of compound interest. If you're in debt, you're on the wrong side of compound interest. It'll save you nearly 1 million rand on that 1 million rand asset that you financed. I often ask the audience, who's going to have 1 million rand in their retirement funds? Right? Often, not many people. This exercise can save you that amount of money. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. In month 12, you're earning 9,000 rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 rand extra a year in recurring income. So I start to fantasize when you start talking about money. So for me, I think, imagine having 100,000 rand bonus every December. Maybe after Christmas, because before Christmas, you'll spend it. When you're suffering in January, imagine having access to that 100,000 rand. Right? Every January going forward. At month 24, at 3 plus 2, remember you're still doing 2 people every single month. At month 24, you're going to be close to 30,000 rand a month. At month 36, you'll get close to 50,000 rand a month. Another illustration of the difference between spending and investing or paying off your debt fast. At month 30, you'll probably have about 36,000 rand a month. Now, for me, I always talk about getting a new Range Rover or Porsche GTS. You could finance either of those cars, right? About a 2 million rand car will cost you 36,000 rand a month. But you could also do a very boring thing and put that money into a bond. I always say to people, how will your friends know you're rich if you're paying your bond off sooner? You have to carry your bond statement in your back pocket and show them, right, while you're still driving your Polo. But this example, if you put it into a 5 million rand bond, extra 36,000 rand a month, it means that you can pay a 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years. Now for me, I'm 40, so the example that I look at is I think, well, if I do that 3 times over, so 7 years, every 7 years I'm paying off a 5 million rand house, by the time I'm 61, when I'm ripe for retirement, even though I think you can work until your 90s, I'm sure, I go home to a house that I paid off 14 years ago. I've got 2 other properties that I've invested in that I'm renting out for 70, 80,000 rand a month. That's annuity income. But I can't get access to those 5 million rand houses because I don't have money. I have to get to this position first before I have the money to start investing into the investment properties. That's the retirement we have to design for ourselves. It requires a decision 21 years before I get to enjoy the fruits of those decisions, instead of buying the Range Rover. Right? At month 48, you're close to 70,000 rand a month. And 5 years from today. So to give you some nice context, it'll be 1 year after the next Qatar Soccer World Cup. You could be earning about 1 million rand in annual recurring income over and above your salaries. Now for me, I'm always very nervous of this because this is an academic example. It's a theoretical example, right? It's fairly complex. Only the actuaries figured out how to put this together because we take into consideration all the negative aspects of our business, people that don't pay their product, wealth engineers that don't build the business. We still get to this number with the leverage that exists in the business. But it is theoretical. And so we have to show you wealth engineers that are making it work. So these are real life examples. These are not academic theory, right, in an Excel spreadsheet. And our first gentleman is Andries Lottering. He's from my side of the world in Kempton. He's been in the business for nearly 2 years. The value of his channel is sitting at 3,500 rand a month in recurring income. We've paid him up to date, so in total nearly 23,000 rand. He's introduced, in 2 years, he's introduced 15 people to the business. Now we want to talk about leverage or power duplication. That's translated into 91 people in his channel. Right? And that's where his recurring income's coming from. If you want to equate that to an investment, you would need 834,000 rand in a bank account at 5% interest to generate 3,500 rand for yourself. Now the beauty, and something we highlight about Andries' story, is that he has a health condition where he can't leave home. So it goes back to my point about the technology that we've put in place that allows you to build this business straight off of your phone. You only need to be able to speak to people, and you need that app on your phone. You can do the business anyway. And Andries does it from his home. Right? Then we've got Petrus. Petrus is also from my side of the world, I think. 10 months ago, he joined the business. His current channel value is sitting at 4,500 Rand a month. He's got 5 points open in his business. He's introduced 14 people in 10 months, and his channel size is sitting at 121 products. So he's following 3 plus 2 fairly closely. Then we've got Casper and Madeleine. They're an interesting bunch because they joined the business 2 years ago. So they've got time on their side. Remember, I said this business is about time and numbers. So the value of his channel is sitting at 8,000 a month. We've paid him almost 40,000 Rand. He's only introduced 8 people to the business in 2 years. Right? So when it comes to head office, we usually shout at him. I hope he's not watching. We shout at him because he's got so much value that he needs to unlock. The 8 people that he brought into his business has translated in the last 2 years to 665 products in his business. He's sitting on a gold mine, right? He needs to unlock it. So there are a couple of unlocking rules. There are only 2, but he has to get more first pointers. We don't reward people for getting lucky and finding one person and then sitting back and saying, let that one person do all the work. Design the system that does not work. You have to put in a little bit of work to enjoy the leverage that you build into your channel. And so we've got thousands of people joining this business every single month, and everyone is doing differently. Everyone's running their own race. I love to equate our business to Comrades Marathon. Do not sprint the first kilometer. Because what I want to do is I want this business to fit into your life. Not for 1 year or 5 years, for the rest of your life. Right? 20, 30 years. So figure out how the business is going to fit into your life, because what we propose to you in this presentation is that you give us time. I want you to invest time in DuePoint. That means you've got to sacrifice time. I'm taking time away from your family, from relaxing, from watching sport, whatever you do when you're not working. That's the time that I propose taking from you, but invest it into a business that allows you to create an asset that you have ownership over and ultimately creates recurring income for yourself. That's what the proposition is. The decision that I ask you to make is not about what you want. Because everyone wants. Everybody wants, right? Realistically and practically, I want you to, by the end of this presentation, go, how is DuePoint going to fit into my life going forward? You might need to have a family meeting when you get home this afternoon and say, listen, this is something we're going to try for the next couple of months and let's see what happens. But it means I can't come watch sports on Saturday mornings because I come to training and to the DuePoint presentation. Or during lunchtime at work, I don't sit with my mates and have lunch. I phone people at lunchtime. How does it practically fit into your life? That is the real decision that we need to make. Joining is very straightforward. It takes you about 7 minutes to become a wealth engineer here. You just go onto our website, click on the apply button. The application form is very short and simple. You can do it on a mobile phone too. Apply yourself to the business. Read our code of conduct. It defines, more importantly, what you cannot do as a wealth engineer, so you don't get kicked out the business because you broke the law. Then complete the online training. Right, so we've got 6 videos that make up what we call our basic series. Just go watch those. It's 6 hours. I'm asking you to invest in knowledge in this business. So it empowers you when you go out and build your channel of distribution. And then set goals for yourself. So this is where I am worried about what you want. What do you want? You get to design what you want. Economy is not going to force you to do anything. Your spouse is not going to force you to do anything. This is where you have the liberty to decide what you want. Do you want an extra 10,000 Rand in 12 months? Do you want it to be 20,000 Rand, 30,000 Rand? That 3 plus 2 growth model is just an example. We've got one chap that got to rank 9 in 5 months, right? It is up to you and how much time you are prepared to invest in this business. Prepare a plan. The plan is always gets distilled back to how many people do I need to speak to. If I want to build at 10 people a month, how many people do I have to speak to get 10 to say yes? It might be 20 people, it might be 30, it might be 40. But that's the plan that it always has to be distilled back to that number. How many people do I have to speak to a month? And then, like I said, start talking to people. If you're not speaking to people, you're dead in this business. Then we're just wasting our time, right? You have to be prepared to speak to people. That's the only number you keep yourself accountable to. Don't worry about yes or no's. Don't worry about people who build and don't build. Don't worry too much about people who pay their product or not. The only number that you can keep yourself accountable to is how many people am I speaking to, right? Merchandise is not a profit center for us. These are tools to help you building your channel of distribution, because these are tools for credibility, right? I've worked in advertising for 20 years. Everything is about credibility. Everything. The reason you married is because your spouse trusted you all those years ago, right? Any transaction is based on trust. And trust is leveraged through credibility. These lend to your credibility. If you sit down at a meeting with a notebook, a pen, and business cards, I promise you your meeting will go well, and even better than having sit down, badly dressed, no merchandise, no business cards, right? So please consider getting the merchandise. Foremost for me are the business cards. It tells the other person you have belief in the business that you're proposing, right? Please get the business card. Far too few people order the business cards. So that's the merchandise on display in the cabinet. We can send it anywhere into the country. Join our Facebook page. Very active on here. So we're producing content almost every single day. YouTube channel's got all our videos, our training, testimonies, and more importantly, it tells you every time we turn that camera on, because the camera broadcasts this presentation live 8 times a week to the entire country. Those are constant opportunities for you to build your channel outside of where you stay. Download the mobile app, that goes without saying, so it works on Android and Apple devices. Onto our rewards program. So the rewards program is the second way to benefit here at DuePoint. It is the cherry on top here at DuePoint, right? The recurring income is way more important. But when you have success here at DuePoint and you're an active wealth engineer, there are rewards waiting for you. So when you start doing wealth engineer things, you will earn what we call XP, right? It's an indicator of how active you are actually as a wealth engineer. And when your channel grows, and you meet those 2 criteria, so you'll see here, to get to rank 1, you need 1,000 XP. You can literally do that in 60 seconds. You need 4 products in your qualified channel. When you meet those 2 criteria, in the rewards program, you become a rank 1 wealth engineer, and you get an extra 55 Rand reward at the end of the month, right? So it starts out very small, but there's a very important side note to rank 1. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to any rank. The program goes up to rank 28. We've only shown 20 there. It goes up to rank 28. The rank 28s are doing the same thing the rank 1s are doing every day. And so if you can get to rank 1, you can get to any rank in this business, right? And as you rank up, the more XP you collect, the greater your channel grows. There's much bigger rewards waiting for you. 20,000 Rand checks, 50,000 Rand checks. We give tools to our wealth engineers to empower their channel building. We've got these very fancy rank 7 business cards, right? So you can ask some of the heavyweights here. Donnie's got some business cards. He doesn't give them out. He only lets you feel them because they're so expensive. They're 12,500 Rand to manufacture for 1 set. You get 1,000 personalized cards that are gilded in gold, like the old Bibles, right? Foiled in gold. No one in the country has business cards like you. When you get to rank 7, I promise you, you put one of these business cards on the table, it's going to make a thunking noise as it lands. It's going to blind the person that you're speaking to. It creates credibility, more importantly, right? At rank 9 is our first recurring reward, right? All the other rewards are once-offs, but this is the first recurring one. Everyone gets excited about this one because it's probably the most tangible kind of benefit here at DuePoint. So what happens at rank 9? Is that we take you, your spouse, and your children, so your family, to our Rank 9 International Conference every single year. It's business class flights there and back. It's a 7-day vacation of sorts, all expenses paid trip at a 5-star luxury resort. And it happens every single year. As long as you maintain your Rank 9 status, and you'll probably go beyond it, this is what you get to enjoy with your family every single year. So take a look at what we got up to last December. This is the resort we went to. These are our Rank 9 2017 wealth engineers. This is waiting for you.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sound where no one can see. You stand on the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that was our last Rank 9 trip. We've obviously already booked the next Rank 9 trip in December, and we are running a campaign at the moment on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, make sure that you like our page, and there is a chance for 10 people to win 2,000 Rand with simple participation in the campaign that we're running. So make sure you're aware of that. At Rank 11, we spent R250,000 Rand buying our wealth engineers a brand new car. We're at least putting that money towards a brand new car. That we pay for in cash, in your name, a car with no debit order at the end of the month. Isn't that a lovely thing? Anyone get to the point where you've paid your car off? That's a good place to be, right? Especially if someone else has paid for it. So that happens at Rank 11. Like I said, our program goes up to Rank 28. That's just a bit of a taste of what is in store for wealth engineers. And again, it always comes back to time and numbers. Next week, we've got a public holiday on Thursday. It is Women's Day. Typically, most people will be looking forward to that public holiday because they can relax, maybe do things with family. Here at DuePoint, it is an opportunity to make money, to create wealth. And so on Women's Day, we will have two presentations, a 10 a.m. and a 12:15 lunchtime presentation. Typically, we are very successful on public holidays. So we have a lot of participation around the country in public holidays. It is a great opportunity to get people to come and listen to the presentation. Come to head office, tune into the live stream, do whatever you need to do, but it is a good day for business. So most public holidays that don't join the weekend, we do double presentations, and there is triple XP available on that day too. All right, so thank you for being a lovely audience. I invite you to come join us here at DuePoint. Know that you've got all the support in the world. We are a business that loves to collaborate. There are no wealth engineers in competition with each other. We are all headed in the same direction. There's enough business to go around. And for the skeptics, I always say to the skeptics, give us at least 1 month. 1 month. If you've decided to lump us into the category of all network marketing businesses, or I've seen one of those businesses before, which we're not. We're a very unique business. But nonetheless, if you're still skeptical, try this business for 30 days, right? But give me the 30 days. Don't give me 1 day where you speak to your parents or your family about it and they all tell you something or other. Give me 30 days. Connect 30 people in 30 days, and I guarantee you in 30 days you will be wealthier next month than you were last month. Guaranteed, right? So try that. If you have any questions, come speak to me. I wish you a prosperous weekend. Perhaps I'll see some of you next week or tomorrow, and an even more prosperous 2018. We've got 5 months left to make a difference to this year. Do not get to the end of 2018 going, 2019 is going to be my year. Start now. All right. Good luck. Thank you, guys.